From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome in to the most ridiculous podcast of sports pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. As always, Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer Pucks Out podcast. Check us out on Patreon to support the show and get all the bits a day early. And check us out on Twitch where you can enjoy some dope-ass gaming. And enjoy some beers and just hang out. I already know how you're doing this week, bud. For you,
I was thinking that we could do the future, how we would be feeling Tuesday of next week. I would have had a good weekend
next week. I would have had a great weekend. Yeah,
I would have had a good weekend. My sister's coming into town from Washington, which sucks because I hate her. And she's the worst. So
I think it's less funny to people at home.
Nah, I don't care. We have an intense rivalry that will not be stifled by opinions of lowly other people that, don't understand our deep rivalry. But I will have got to hang out and see everybody that's coming to see her. So that's nice to see them, not her specifically. What have you been up to a week in the future?
Let's see. On Saturday, my sister got married. And I officiated the wedding, so that's always fun. Sunday, we went to the Renaissance Festival.
Lucky.
In Maryland.
Lucky.
And then we are hanging out with family. We're going to have a couple crab feasts. We got some Lido. We're going to get some Lido. We got some Lido's pizza. So overall, great week. I think we're going to make a trip up to, I think we're going to make a day trip to Baltimore. So
nice. Go to Cat's Eye. Yeah. Tell them I said what up,
Of course.
Excellent, brother. Well, that sounds like a fun time, man.
Yeah, but let's hit this fit check real quick. We're talking the Metro today, so I got
the one division I don't have a fit for jersey wise. So I'm rocking the Canadians Winter Classic. Ooh. PK Subban, repping my boy, retiring dude, Mr. Worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So. And then, I did have the Columbus Blue Jackets hat. We have been up there. So I decided to bust on the old Blue Jackets hat. Yeah. But I am digging the Canes fit, brother. I'm loving it.
I got that O's hat on.
I got that gray O's hat on, brother. That one's sick. That's one of the few of the 1,000 O's hats I don't have. So I'm jealous of it. I might have to go. I might have to send you up there to get it. You're going to Baltimore and be like, hey, give me that hat while you're up there, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah. But all right, so let's see. We are no news to talk about because we're not exactly future tellers, but
as good as we are,
maybe we can guess some things that'll happen. If we want to, we can maybe guess some. I don't know.
Nathan MacKinnon demands immediately upon his signing of the new contract to be traded to the Predators. That's
with his no trade clause.
Well, he has the no trade clause. He can waive it. Yeah. And so that's one prediction. That's just a prediction, folks. Again, we're recording a little early. So we're good at predicting our own futures because we're pretty boring in that sense. Boring in the sense that we know we're just probably going to get drunk this weekend and do some dope stuff. We know that about ourselves. So if that's boring, then count me boring. But yeah, as far as what happens in the NHL, they don't listen to us a lot. So probably not going to be able to predict that one.
But anyway, into the Metro Division preview. Starting off with the Carolina Hurricanes, the Metro winners last season. We're busy this offseason. Max Pacioretty is in. Little shit show. Tony DeAngelo is out. And Niederreiter is also out. Brent Burns is in. Are these changes enough to get them into the conference finals?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to need to see a lot more from Sebastian Aho than we saw this previous season. As a guy that we know can really take over a game and a team. We really just didn't seem to see that a whole lot last year. They kind of got away with winning as a team, which is great. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Being able to for everybody to step up to the plate and help you win is great. But they really need that guy to push them over the edge. So. Yeah, this is a team that absolutely can win the conference finals, but that's a tough road. I mean, we talked about some teams on the last episode for everybody else last week, and just a few minutes ago for us that I see them a tough road to get through. I don't even think that this is the division winner in my mind.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I know that Aho needs to perform well, even for your sake. I mean, longtime listeners know you've got a pretty big man crush on Sebastian Aho.
And his mom is a hoe. I mean, his mom's a hoe. That's number one reason why I love that guy. So that's it. No, hands down.
A joke that never gets old.
It never. I mean, it probably was old the first time I told it, but I will never stop because Bobby, I don't tell jokes for other people. I tell jokes for myself. Okay. And so if I think it's funny, then I'll keep thinking it's funny. But I mean, it's a guy that I've been big on in fantasy, and I don't rescind really any of my comments. I don't know that I don't know that he can get to the level that I projected him to get to though. After seeing this last year, we may have seen his ceiling. I hope not, because it's a guy that I'm going to continue to draft, and I think I can get good positions. But the Hurricanes are definitely a team of interest. I'm not as high on them this season coming in as I was last season, which is interesting because I really do like the moves that they've made there. Patches can be that guy to kind of really put him over the edge if deployed correctly. Brent Burns is a guy that we've seen be a monster defenseman. So this can move him over a line. I don't think it will though.
Yeah, I agree. The New York Rangers, a dangerous team with the new additions to their firepower. Vincent Trocheck, they have some notable losses, including Kopp, Strome, Vetrano, and Mott, to name a few. This team, however, is still a major threat to win the Cup. 2 possible MVP candidates, a Rocket Richard dark horse, a Norris winning defenseman, and a Vezina winner don't make for a bad squad. You wrote this up, and I agree with everything you wrote here.
Yeah, I really like this team. Another year kind of under their belt, a very decent showing this previous year. I mean, Zibanejad, Panarin, Kreider, Trocheck kind of coming into the fold. Even with their notable losses, I'm still not worried about this team. This is a team. This is my division winner pick as far as I'm concerned.
100%. The Pittsburgh Penguins, the former dynasty, is on the decline naturally after all their success. I don't see much change this season. They had a late season push last year to push them into third in the Metro. Their big names, Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, are aging. Jeff Petrie is not the answer to get this team back to the Cup. I think this decline continues.
Yeah. I mean, it's a situation in which if Malkin can stay healthy, I mean, this is absolutely a team that can make the playoffs. I mean, I think we've seen that. I think we've predicted that they won't for quite a few years. They have star power that, kind of gets them over that hump a lot of the times. I think Russ really needs to step up to the plate. I mean, that's a guy that they really need to see make that next step. And then, Guentzel, obviously a guy that is tried and true, the future of that team. So I'll probably make a bet that they won't make the playoffs and lose that money again. Maybe I'll make a bet that they will make the playoffs this year and then just win the pride game of it. because I mean, it's a team that continues to make the playoffs despite all pointing to them not making it. So moving to we were sitting there with the Pens. We just, I guess, took off the cap. So the Washington Capitals, after a strong start, the team struggled with even another great year from the Grade 8. Picked up Darcy Kemper in free agency. Only small other changes were made. The team management has faith in the team, it seems. OV still after that goal record, so goals should be easy to come by. It's always easy to come by for Alex Ovechkin. I agree with your statements. I think a lot of the things that you said about the Pittsburgh Penguins can also be said about the Washington Capitals. I'm not sure that I have the faith that their front office has in their roster build at this point in time. I mean, they have. It seems like everything that we said about the Rangers, the Washington Capitals, we could have said that about them 5 or 6 years ago. And it just seems like it's that team that's on the outs, that's slowing down. With enough star power that I think they're still going to be relevant. I think they're still going to be kind of in that mix of things, but not a team that I would, put money on to win the Stanley Cup right now.
Yeah, certainly. 100%. The New York Islanders, no big offseason moves. Kadri rumors ultimately didn't pan out, which left them hanging high and dry. That still hurts a little bit. I wanted him to go there. Bright spots in the roster, but in a tough division. Hopefully start faster than they did last year. Will Barzal step up? New coach, Lane Lambert. Was the Trotzy firing justified? I agree with your right up here that he was scapegoated. I think Trotzy's a good coach, and he deserved another year or two.
Lou Lamoriello trying to save his job, having to do something. I think it was the wrong move. I think that Trotz gives you a better chance to win. Now, yet another coach that will not be eligible for Coach House. So that is unfortunate. That I feel as though we've influenced the NHL world, but in a negative way for us, Bobby, because we got a lot of run out of making fun of them hiring the same 7 guys. All I'm saying is, if we've ruined Coach House for ourselves, that's a big career blunder.
Yeah, all we've done is increase the amount of contestants.
Potentially, though. But what if these guys either stay on their team long term or never get other jobs? We've really just ultimately wasted a spot in Coach House. Okay, and so, and so I just hope this isn't what we look back at as our biggest career blunder. I hope we're not Lou Lamoriello in this situation. Not a team that I'm excited for. A team that I'm more excited for. They got off to that really, 13-game road trip last season to start the season. That's hard. That's a tough thing to go after. I think that we're going to get them they're going to not have to deal with that as much in the front end. I think this is a over 500 team, but not a team that I think they're going to get over 500 because of the same reason, the opposite reason of why I talked about Florida getting, last year, where a lot of teams would just be, okay, we're playing Florida. Let's, hang it up this tonight, kind of rest it out. I think they're going to be that scrappy team that gets over and gets a lot of wins. Anders Lee, Beauvillier, Barzal, they need something from Palmieri. I mean, he was a big time move. They need to get something from that guy. And I mean, it's a guy that can score goals. So we'll see
100%.
What the Islanders have.
Hit us with that Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny Gaudreau in. Laine signing a 4-year contract. Merzlikins, the dopest name in the NHL, still rocking it. Looks to be on the edge of a breakout season. Agreed. Korpisalo's still there, my understanding. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, a really, really solid 1-2 punch there from your goaltenders. Gaudreau, was it money or did he see? Obviously it wasn't money. They were giving him more money in Calgary to stay there. So maybe he sees something there. Laine is a guy that we've had mixed emotions on as a fantasy manager for Laine. It's been tough. It's been tough to kind of to swallow watching this guy score 40 some odd goals his rookie year.
It's too bad you're not his Fortnite manager.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure that his manager is just going to hook him up on some Twitch and he's getting some money there too.
Yeah.
But it's a guy that that did better last season. I'm very interested in this Columbus Blue Jackets team. It's a team that can kind of eke out some wins when you don't think they can. They're scrappy. Johnny Hockey's a monster hockey player that just scored 100 points. I think that he is down in for a little bit of a letdown. I mean, 108 points is not usually you're scoring that by yourself type of deal. And I don't know that they have the weaponry that the Flames do. So if you had to guess right now, what are you guessing Johnny Hockey's points are?
I'm going to say 68. 70.
Wow. Okay. So yeah. So about where I'm looking at, I was thinking 72 is where I'm thinking that a little less than a point per game pace. You know, enough to show enough promise. You know, to have something. Now I'll say this: I wouldn't not be surprised to see him on either end of the spectrum, though. You know, 90 some odd points versus 50 some odd points. You know, I could very easily see him going into Columbus and dropping 52 points. You know, I mean, and that would not be crazy. This is a guy that 2 years ago at the end of the season people were dropping in fantasy leagues because of his lack of production. So definitely an interesting team. Definitely rocking the hat. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely not wishing them ill. I mean, we had a really good time in Columbus. I have no ill will towards them and the dope cannon. Although they didn't let us get a picture with the cannon legally. We did have to pull up the curtain, which we did fine. I mean, I have zero problem breaking the rules in Columbus, but I mean, I'm like the Urban Meyer of the Columbus Arena. Okay. So I know you like that text I sent you the other day, buddy. I know you like that. I was more confused. I said I was more confused than Urban Meyer at a Columbus bar looking for his wife. Yeah. That's super confused, brother.
The New Jersey Devils, a decade-long rebuild seems to be continuing. They have plenty of young talent, but they can't put it to use, it seems. I think this rebuild that started in 2012 goes for another couple years. I don't see them getting out of this rebuild anytime soon.
No. I mean, you can say, I guess they got some bright spots with some youth there, but nothing that you're writing home with. Lost a potential leader of the team in PK Subban with the retirement. Yeah, a team that we were much more excited for off season this time last year. A lot of the prospects, they haven't really changed much up though, and the prospects didn't end up being too great last year. So a team that I would not be surprised to see at the bottom of the East again this season.
Wrap us up with Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, Torts is in. So, I mean, that's one guy that's out of the carousel, out of the house, back out into the fold. We'll see you later, buddy. Torts is in there, which I really like as a hire. I think that he's going to do well there. First thing that he did, though, blame off ice stuff for the team's lack of performance. And I'm sure that this is your quote, Bobby, but I agree with it 100%. I'm sure that he will deal with this in the healthiest of ways. And he'll deal with it in a way that will not bring him back up into the coaching house at any time soon. After finishing last in the Metro last season, they didn't add much to the team. They have some bad goaltending. Not great vets besides Provorov and Konechny. Another bad season on the horizon. It seemed like the way that you're writing it up, we're building to something, and it was just no. We're going to the bottom of the hill. We're going further down.
It was building up speed because it was going downhill.
I think that they have some pieces there that can give them a surprising. I don't think that they're last in the Metro this season.
I believe they're last. Maybe second to last.
I think that Torts is that guy that he's the guy you bring in to whip a team into shape. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the crazy hootenanny, parties and stuff, and you bring him in, you kind of whip him into shape. I think the problem was for Torts last time was he was trying to whip Patrick Laine into shape, and he costs a lot of money, and a lot of people know his name. And so, I mean, it's just as easy to come up into Brandon and Bobby's coach house and grab you a coach as it is to fight with Torts and Line being in the news cycle every little bit. I think he can come in there, and this is not a playoff team, but this is most certainly not the worst team in the league.
Yeah. I think that Davey and I's lifelong bet might need to be changed to which team is not last instead of which team is further in the playoff.
Yeah, man. I don't know though. Davey might finally get you guys. I get you specifically, not me. I win every year because I always bet against both of you, and so I think I owe you both like 7 cups of water each, purely for you guys betting on. And I want to say this out loud so everybody hears it. You betting on the Columbus Blue Jackets and him betting on the Philadelphia Flyers. And y'all keep bringing it up. People forget. People will totally forget about it. But every season, one of y'all's dumb asses like, hey, remember this bet? Like, y'all could easily not say anything. And then I would say it and totally ruin you guys' day. No, I think you're done, man. Because you're Flyers. You're on the Flyers side, right? Are you a Blue Jacket? Yeah. This is like the Brackens. This rivalry's the Blackens and the Brackwood. The Brackens and the Blackwoods, dude. Nobody knows where it started, but at this point, you guys are so deep into the game. Y'all don't even care. Y'all are like, no, fuck the Flyers or Blue Jackets, whichever one I'm supposed to hate, you know? Oh, man.
All right, but so that wraps up our Metro Division preview. We'll see y'all next week where we wrap up the Central Division preview leading up to the start of the NHL season. So let's finish off with what are you binging? It's the start of the month. I've been watching the first 3 episodes as of recording are out for the new season of Rick and Morty, and as always, very, very funny. I love Rick and Morty. It is such a good show just to turn off your brain and just enjoy it.
Do not say turn off your brain and enjoy it to some Rick and Morty fan club.
Because I know, that's why I specifically said it.
You're done. You're like specifically.
It's super deep, bro. It's very smart.
Super turn it on and you get a whiteboard and then you watch it. And then I did want to, before I go, we have a short episode for the people. I think we're going to be clocking in under 30 minutes. So I feel like it's necessary, because I'll totally forget by the next time we actually record. It's necessary to bring up an honorary joke of the week real quick. Beyond Meat COO, big in the vegan world, creating a different kind of burger that's, hey, if it's good, not my whole thing is if it's good, I'll eat
be honest, I've had it before. It tastes good.
They're good.
It's good.
Yeah, they're good. So, but you're not really doing good for your image and your brand when you get arrested for biting a man's nose near the Razorback Stadium.
Was this man made out of plants?
I hope so, because you are really... This guy's like, dude, do not kill cows, but cannibalism? I'm for it. Okay, I'm pro cannibalism. I did want to say, hey, that's an honorary joke of the week. What a joke. Why is the CEO of a plant-based food company trying to bite people?
Are his teeth even made for that? He's a herbivore. Doesn't he just have a bunch of he doesn't have any sharp teeth.
I don't know that he's specifically a vegan. That was never discussed. But I would imagine that it would be
crazy if he's not.
He's just the COO. Do you think that CEO, you think that every COO of, you think the COO of Nike wears Air Maxes every day? Of course he does, because he's probably a father. That's not a good example though, Bobby. That's not a good example of what I'm trying to say. Okay. Do you think the guy of, the beer company takes home a 12-pack to his family every day? Oh, yeah, he does.
Wouldn't
okay. Yes. Okay. So I've obviously miscalculated my stance on this. Okay. Okay. But okay. But all right. But the guy will take. All right. So the beer company guy takes home a 12-pack for sure. And I will concede that point. but that doesn't mean he doesn't also drink liquor. So he'll eat some Beyond Burgers, but he's also swinging by McDonald's on the way home because he needs a pre-meal, y'all. All right. So now, what I have been binging, I haven't even binged anything yet, Bob.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
what I have been binging, though, and I cannot overstate this enough, She-Hulk Attorney at Law is freaking awesome, man. It's finally a turn off your brain. I mean, I'm sure that I'm missing a ton, but it's a turn off your brain Marvel show that you don't have to be watching for the background and the, oh my goodness, that's the triple hangnail curse of, this character. Everybody knows what that means, and that means that buttholes are going to rain from the clouds every Thursday in the Marvel universe. You don't have to worry about that anymore. But I think it's super funny, and you get your cameos from Mark Ruffalo. You get Wong cameos, and bro, you get the greatest character that is ever been created in the Marvel universe. So, just get up into it, because we need to talk about Madison.
100%, yeah.
Okay, Madison with 2 N's and a Y, but it ain't where you think. Okay, that's a key line.
Yeah. But all right, so guys, that wraps up. For Brandon, I'm Bobby. This has been Pucks Out Podcast. We'll see you all next week. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.